All right, guys, welcome back to Zoom University. We're talking about our virtual college semester experience. So, as you guys know, with the pandemic, a lot of schools got canceled and moved to an online format, and UW was one of those schools. We took all of our most recent quarter online, and we're using Zoom, which is this video conferencing platform. A lot of you guys may have used it for school. We're gonna be talking about some of the differences and some of the things we noticed changed between our physical experience and our online experience.
Yeah, this may be important to people coming in as fall quarter may be online as well.
One aspect we want to point out for the virtual experience was time management. We actually found out that we had a lot more time during the quarter because there was no commuting. So you didn't have to walk to class, you didn't have to drive to class, just a lot more time in general.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok about people who just everybody was sad about the pandemic, and then people who commute were just hella happy. They're just dancing, just because they have so much more free time now to do stuff. They don't have to drive.
Yeah, and because we were all in quarantine, there was no hanging out with friends. There was no events on campus, so just my schedule personally cleared up a lot, and there was literally basically nothing to do except to do schoolwork.
Even with the extra time, though, there was some problems that came with having all the classes online. First of all, you don't have any interactions with anyone, so it's much harder to stay mentally attentive to the class. All the lectures were recorded, and you could watch it later, so there was no motivation to come to and watch class live if you could just watch it later on your own free time.
That's just a problem in general at UW is all the classes are recorded, and it's even worse now when every single class is recorded. There's usually no participation or anything. You can turn your webcam off, you can turn your mic off. It's basically you're not there. No one's gonna notice if you're just sitting there doing something else.
And if you start missing class, lectures start piling up really quickly, and it's going to be very hard for you to come back and watch all the classes later.
Also, it's kind of sucks because there's really nothing to look forward to. There's no fun events planned or anything to relieve stress. So you're just kind of doing work without an incentive to keep going on. There's no fun thing at the end of the week. So yeah, that's a little bit hard on mental health for sure.
Another major thing was the quality of education really was reduced. I'm an engineering major, and so labs are very important to my education as an engineer. And we got all our labs and our hands-on parts of our classes completely removed from our curriculum.
The only thing that they made cheaper, the tuition costs exactly the same, and they refunded us $80 for
the buses.
The bus. Yeah, the tuition cost is the same, but the quality of all of our classes were noticeably worse. One of my teachers was maybe 80 years old, and she was teaching Russian, and I had taken Russian 2 quarters before, and so I kind of knew what to expect, and it was just so much worse. It was we were teaching her how to use the teaching platform, or the video conferencing. There are times where class would just be canceled because she couldn't figure out how to connect to her Wi-Fi. And it's just there's just a lot of problems. Your mic is muted or your internet gives out. There's a lot of problems.
Yeah, a lot of my sections had internet problems, so they would waste 30 to 40 minutes of class trying to fix this problem and eventually just say, yeah, class is over, I'll record it and give it to you later.
Yeah, another thing I wanted to talk about was grades. Because of the global pandemic, the teachers were a lot more lenient towards late assignments and just exams in general. For my classes, the test averages were a lot higher because people were cheating or they just had more time to study, but averages were definitely way higher.
And the curves, they were restructured so less people were failing. It's just the teachers were a lot more nice this quarter.
And then for our school, they actually gave us an option to turn our classes into a pass or fail option. And I know a lot of universities across the country have also done that as well.
Yeah, this would mean that your grades wouldn't matter to your GPA.
And also, at our school, they made it so that even if you pass-fail a class, they will still let that count towards your major. So you wouldn't have to retake that class.
One thing I know, because I teach a section of students, primarily freshmen, is that it was kind of unfortunate for them if they were trying to take a class that was important for applying to a major. It's a prerequisite class, just because the admissions process is now going to know hey, that quarter was really weird. It was weird circumstances. They're going to consider the grade differently. If you're a person who does really well on tests, it may be really messed up for you because the test might have been canceled. And that was the case in the class that I teach for. The classes were entirely canceled. It was all graded on homework. So if you're a person who does bad on homework, then it just kind of messes it up. So definitely think about that if you're a freshman.
Also, on the other hand, some of my classes, they reduced the weight of homework, and it was primarily based on tests. And this would mean that if you were a bad test taker, or you just didn't have the same test scores as you would normally have, this would completely mess up your grade normally.
Yeah. So what you can do is look online, just see what the weight changed like during that online quarter.
If you made it to the end of the video, please leave a like and please subscribe to our channel, and we'll come back with more content.